E for a year, that year is all my life. Yes, in other words, she has accepted the possibility of this fate materializing. But that year is sufficient for me to prepare myself what to do, how to face the challenge. That year is all my life. In that life, I shall accomplish what I had to do. My mission is there. I will do yoga sadhana, yoga tapasya in that year and achieve what I am supposed to achieve. That is all my life. I don't need more time than that. In 1 year, I will be able to achieve all that. If for a year, that year is all my life. And yet, I know this is not all my fate, only to live and love a while and die. It's not for that purpose I have come here. I have not come for that purpose. I know that. Why? Because only now I know what has happened. It is that now she is revealing that knowledge. E for a year. Now, year is a very significant thing in terms of Indian description. Year is the body of God. Body of God. Year. All the aspects of cyclic movement in time as embedded in 1 year. God has expressed himself through cyclic time. And when Satyavan has to die 1 year after marriage, it means that that cycle has to now get dissolved and a new cycle to begin. So that year, yes, I am going to prepare now for the new cycle. E for a year, yes, I will see that that year is fully utilized to bring about a new year. We prepare that. Only to live, that is not my purpose. I have not come here for that party thing. Against, for I know now why my spirit came on earth. He is asserting once more, now why my spirit has come here and who I am and who he is I love. Not only myself, but who he is, that also I know now. Narad has told me, and suddenly that knowledge has come, that revelation has come to me. That revelation has dawned on me, who I am, who he is. For I know now why my spirit came on earth, and who I am, and who he is, I love. I have looked at him from my immortal self. I have seen God smile at me in Satyavan. I have seen the eternal in a human face. Well, what can we say about that? You see, she has that realization now. Now that knowledge has come to me, that knowledge, that understanding, that revelation has come to me, who is. I have understood everything. I have seen the eternal. He says now again, eternal E capital. You see, the Supreme Himself. I have seen Him present in Satyavan. You see, in a human face, He is the incarnate Supreme. In other words, Savitri is asserting the avatarhood of Satyavan. Satyavan, the avatar. And the mother has said, mother was asked, who is Satyavan? And she said, but Satyavan is the permanent avatar, she says. He is the permanent avatar. Mother says, he is the permanent avatar. I have seen the eternal in human face. He is the permanent avatar. Now, that permanent avatar is in the story of creation which Mother narrates, that the divine powers separated themselves from the divine and became opposite. They are opposite. Truth became falsehood, life became death, consciousness became unconsciousness, bliss became grief. The separation had taken place. And what remained was the total void. And when the void was seen by the Supreme, what has happened? There's the Holocaust Supreme is vanished, totally vanished. Holocaust Supreme is vanished totally. Then, in order to redeem the effect of the separation from the divine source, the divine himself plunged into the void. The moment the separation took place, the void was there, he plunged into the void. He plunged into the void, and that is the first descent of the Supreme into this creation. He is the first avatar who has come here, and that first avatar is Satyavan. He is stationed in the void at the base for things to happen onward. I have seen that now in Satyavan. It is linked up with the story of creation. This is what is going to happen, and I have understood that, I recognize that thing, because I know now why my spirit came on earth. It came for him to redeem Satyavan from the grip of death. He had taken the station himself in death. In order to redeem him from the grip of death, I have come here from the grip of death. I know now why my spirit came on earth. What is the purpose of her coming? To release that grip which is strangling with the soul of Satyavan. That is the purpose. That is the part of the Eternal's will. Satyavan is of course there. Savitri has taken this birth as a part of the will of the Eternal to relieve the grip of death from Satyavan's soul. I have seen God smile at me in Satyavan. I have seen the Eternal in human being. In just 12 sentences, she has made her position absolutely clear. This is all I can say. And she has asserted her divinity, her mission, her work, and she has also said how this happened, in what manner I have come to know that thing. I recognize now that thing. It is the power of love. It is the power which is put by Narad in the soul of Savitri, which has given her that firmness of conviction to steal the will of Savitri. That was what Narad had done, to make it firm. He had come here for that purpose. It is done. I have seen the eternal, human being. So please don't dissuade me from the choice which I have made. This is what she is telling to her mother. I have made my choice. I am firm about it. I am not going to change at all, that kind of a thing, which is obvious. Which is obvious. Then none could answer her words. Obviously, when she has made such a firm assertion, what can anybody say? Neither Narad, nor Savitri's mother, nor Savitri's father, none could answer to her word. Silent, they sat and looked into the eyes of fate. That is all they can see. What is going to happen tomorrow? Waiting for the arrival of fate. What is the issue? What Savitri is going to do? That is what they are now waiting to happen. They are not really going to participate in the action of that fate. It is Savitri's uniqueness which has to handle. Neither Savitri's father, nor her mother, nor Narad, nor the rishis, the forest, nobody, not even her Satyavan, they will come and help her there. It is Savitri's sole single business. And therefore, she is the one who has to look into the eyes of fate, none else. And therefore, as we have seen earlier also, the death of Satyavan occurs in the lonely forest. Not even one human soul is present apart from Satyavan and Savitri there. Only gods above and nature's soul below were the mighty spectators of the strife, the struggle between death and in Savitri, only gods above and the soul of nature below. They were the only two present watching the entire drama going on here. That is the fate. So Savitri's mother, Savitri's father, even Satyavan, nobody has any part to play there. They are not there at all. They simply look into the eyes of it. Now, by the way, it is important to also see that this statement of Narad that 1 year after marriage, Satyavan must die, we have seen it repeatedly, must die, was made known to them in the palace. And the only three persons who knew about it were, of course, Ashwapati, Savitri's father, Savitri's mother, Malavi, and herself. None else in the entire world here had the knowledge of this event likely to take place. Not even Satyavan. Savitri is living with Satyavan for 1 year, but she does not give even the slightest hint of what is going to happen to him tomorrow. She has kept that knowledge absolutely to herself. Naturally, her parents-in-law don't know anything. The rishis in the forest, they don't know anything at all. Nobody knows. Now that is the kind of a tremendous capacity Savitri had to hold into her soul that knowledge. Even as a human Savitri to hold that thing entirely to herself. Otherwise you go and blurt around here and there and the whole thing gets spoiled also, you see. It doesn't happen. Savitri had that tremendous capacity to that support, that adhara, dhriti. She can support, hold it, dhrita. Huh?
Yes, they know.
No, nobody knew.
There is a sentence in the story when the father-in-law, she was making the vow, and he came to ask her, to tell her, it's very hard what you are doing. And she told him, I have to finish it. He said, of course, it's not me who is going to ask you to stop. What does it mean? It means he knows she is making this.
No. See, no. That story, the original story in the Mahabharata.
Yeah, in the Mahabharata.
No, it is absolutely silent.
He didn't know the
No.
father-in-law.
In the Mahabharata story, it is absolutely silent. No.
So what he means by this?
She says, I have great will to accompany my husband today to the forest. For what? She does not disclose. I have great desire to please grant me permission to accompany my husband. I am enamored, I am fascinated by the trees, the birds and flowers. I had never been out of the house here for 1 year, but today a sudden desire has seized me. And please give me permission to accompany my husband to the forest today. That's all.
And she was making the vow. He asked her, he said, it's not me who is going to ask you to stop the vow. Why he said like this?
No, he will simply say, okay, you can go, but take care. See, which is kind of natural for an elderly person to say. All right? He dissuades her also, says that, look, you are a princess, you are born in a royal family, you have lived in a luxurious palace and all that thing. You had never seen the forest. How can you walk on the rough stones and walk in the forest and this and that? He tries to dissuade her, Savitri. I mean, Satyavan's father, Dyumatsena. He tries to dissuade her to go along with Satyavan that day. And she says, no, it doesn't matter, but now a strong desire has seized me and I wish today to go along. I cannot remain away from him today. She says that. And when she asserts firmly that, she says, all right, if it is so, you go. And he also says that he consoles to himself by saying that this girl, her father had left with me a year ago. She had never asked for any favor, anything at all from me so far. She has been doing everything in a very nice, proper manner and all that thing. She had never asked for anything at all, anything. So on what grounds can I say no to her? In fact, he argues himself like that. I can't say no to her. She had never asked for anything at all, any favor in the whole of 1 year. And when she is saying something, it's not proper for me to say no to her. All right. And then, as an elderly person, all right, you can go, but take precaution. You had never been to the forest. This is a wild forest. There are wild beasts and everything. Take precaution. That's all he says. Nobody has an idea, least inkling of what is going to happen today at 12 o'clock. Nobody. That is the story of Mahabharata properly. In fact, that way, the Mahabharata poet, he is also a yogi. He knows all the nuances. Why should death take place in a lonely forest when only Satyavan and Savitri are present? Yama comes and seizes the soul of Satyavan. Why not in the house? That's what I had told last time also. No? Why not in the house? But then in that case, the occult work which had got to be done could not have been done in the presence of all the human beings around. They would have been kind of an obstacle in their occult work. They would have been weeping and crying and call the doctor, call this thing, that thing, and her occult work would not have been done. It had to take place in a forest, when only God above and nature's soul below, they are the mighty spectators of the strife. It is face to face that they are to meet. So, see, there is so much packed spiritual intensity in the original story itself. Mahabharata Savitri, Vyasa Savitri says, this is how it is. And it is perfectly, the occult reason is very deep there, very understandable. In fact, even in the ordinary cases, what happens when somebody is practicing occultism, you shut yourself in a room so that nobody comes and disturbs you. And you put a guard there outside the door and not allow him to enter in. It is sort of common, understandable. But here is an open story, and therefore the occasion is if death must take place in the lonely forest, in the Shalva woods, under a kingly tree, a majestic, mighty tree, because it is under the tree things will start flowering up, will bearing fruit. The kingly tree, it is that tree which will bear the fruit of tomorrow, of new manifestation. It has to be that. So the story is very well knit, very tight story. You see, in its occult terminology, in its occult implications, it's a very tight story. You see. Although it's not elaborate, and that was not the purpose of Vyasa to elaborate in that manner, but all those spiritual and occult elements are intensely present there, and they are very, what shall I say, dense like a diamond, shining. All those elements, you see, they are there always. You see.